Is that a fancy way of... Continue questioning me.
Where is she?
No, we went and we
there
looked
she.
at
Oh,
the
hey.
whole room.
There she is.
So we checked out her whole room. Now we've got some...
It looks like this woman is single, but she has feelings for someone.
Hey, how do you know?
She is looking so intensely at this photo. But is it really a sister that she's studying in this manner?
Oh, you mean she loves the dude?
New question is available.
They made the perfect couple, am I correct?
Yes, in a way. She was pretty and he...
Well?
He's a bright man, with a promising career ahead of him. He would have made Betty a good husband. He was always attentive and generous. Oh, a true gentleman.
I hear a note of envy in your voice.
You must have heard wrong.
Let's give Donald with... What would Poirot do?
I would say he would ask if...
You have not mentioned Donald's jealousy.
There's nothing to say.
I am not your enemy, Mademoiselle Bernard.
And you are not my friend either, Mr. Poirot, sir.
Ooh.
Yes, but your lies are not helping Mr. Fraser, or you for that matter.
Ask why she's protecting Betty.
I know that Fraser was jealous, but I wonder why you feel the need to protect him.
Protect him? I hope you're not suggesting...
That you are Fraser's accomplice? There is nothing to suggest that, at least not yet. It would appear that your sister's murder is the second in a series that we have to stop as quickly as possible. The first was in Andover, and the same as your sister, the murderer sent me a letter informing me that a crime would be committed in that town. Now can I count on your honesty?
Yes, you have my confidence, Mr. Poirot. Don is a quiet and sensitive young man. Slightly reserved, too. And as is often the case with reserved people, when he flew into a temper, he completely lost control. He could be so violent. Betty was frightened.
And when was this?
The first time was about a year ago. But they rowed more recently. Donald found out that Betty had lied to him. She said she was going out with a girlfriend, but she went out for dinner with a married man. It was an awful scene. She told him that until they were married, she was free to go with whoever she pleased. Donald turned quite pale and started shaking and kept saying one day...
Well?
He'd commit murder.
I'll say... suspect.
So you were afraid that he would become our main suspect. I know that Fraser was jealous, but I wonder why you feel the need to protect him.
Exactly. Had you not told me about the case, I would never have dared to tell you about this little matter. Don loved Betty with all his heart. I can't imagine for one instant that he would hurt her.
Very good, Mademoiselle Bernard. Thank you for your help.
Fraser is at the Ginger Cat. The police haven't spoken to him, but they want to.
Très bien, Hastings. Let's see him now. Au revoir, mademoiselle. My deepest condolences to your parents.
Of course, Mr. Poirot. And don't be too hard on Don. He's more fragile than he looks.
If you say so.
I don't know though. A sensitive loner who can
Let's
fly
now
into
try
rages.
and get how brain cells to work.
All right. What had Betty planned? Did Betty know her assailant? This
That
one?
one, yeah.
What? That one? I thought I chose
Let's
that
now
one.
try and get how brain cells to work.
What is Megan? What's the
Maybe.
motive?
Yeah, it's because she was good. I killed her because she's a better singer than.
She's
Yeah.
there.
Mr. Poirot, I don't like being stared at. If you have something to say, would you please say it to me?
We have to go to the little. Did Donald have a motive for Betty's? Does Donald have an alibi? Question.
Alright, bye, girl. Come on, Hastings. We got shits to do. Hasty.
Hasty puddings.
You've seen Fraser, Hastings. What is your feeling?
He's a
you
big
did?
chap. Fragile isn't exactly the word that springs to mind. I talked to his landlady before seeing him. She went to bed at 11. Fraser wasn't home yet.
Bien. Megan Barnard said he is a reserved character but with a nasty temper. We will see if this is the case.
So. Our cash.
I don't want this young man here. Be quick and do what you must.
What a pity. I don't have any change to make it work.
I don't think you questioned her.
Oh.
How do you do, Mr. Fraser?
You're Hercule Poirot. Mr. Hastings said you wanted to speak to me.
Yes. I know that it may not be the right time, but I would like to ask you a few questions.
Overgrown
This
beard.
man looks suspicious.
Drinking.
Donald Fraser is in a terrible state, as if he hadn't slept all night. And he's drinking White Horse.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
Tell me it's a mistake.
Nay.
That Betty isn't dead.
Sadly, your lady friend has been murdered, Mr. Fraser.
Oh, Betty, if only you'd listened.
Ask.
If she had listened to you, she would still be alive. Should I take that to be a confession?
With that sort of thinking, you must send a lot of innocent men to prison. Under different circumstances, I might even find you amusing, sir.
It's no time for amusement, Mr. Fraser. It is time to find your fiance's killer. Did you know what her plans were for the evening?
She said she was having dinner with her sister.
Yet, Megan only returned to Bexhill this morning, Mr. Fraser.
I didn't know.
Right. May I ask you what you were doing yesterday evening?
I spent the evening working.
Your colleagues can confirm this?
No, I often take work home with me.
Therefore, you have no alibi, Mr. Fraser.
That's right. But that doesn't make me a murderer, Mr. Poirot. I would like you to leave now, please.
Ah, I knew I'd find you here, Poirot. I thought the victim's young man was here.
Yes, is all yours, Chief Inspector. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Does Donald have an alibi? Does Donald have a motive? Okay.
Okay.
So I was reading an article. Played.
Fraser doesn't have an alibi and he's extremely jealous.
You are very skilled at summing up.
And yet you haven't asked Jap to arrest him.
It is too soon. But I agree, without the letters announcing the crimes, Fraser would already be behind bars. Bon, I think we have enough elements. Let's reconstruct the events at the scene of the crime.
I can't imagine how the murderer wasn't seen, though. Surely she must have struggled.
Let us try and imagine the scene.
So, this newer Sherlock Holmes game has come out, and action game, and I found out it was by the same company. Really good one we played. So I wonder why they went more the action route. Story and...
The killer and the victim are walking on the beach. Miss Betty has a bag, a belt around her waist, and carries her shoes in her hand. Both of them walk slowly to hut number 5.
Oh, advance.
Both of them walk slowly to hut number 6. Miss Betty enters the hut. She leaves without her belongings. Then she hides a code.
The killer tries to remove his victim's belt. She panics and tries to stop him. She runs away, pursued by her assailant.
No, there is no sign of a chase. Things must have happened differently. Let us think again, mon cher.
Oh.
The killer and the victim are walking on the beach. Miss Betty has a bag, a belt around her waist, and carries her shoes in her hand. Both of them walk slowly to hut number 5. Both of them walk slowly to hut number 6. Miss Betty enters the hut. She leaves without her belongings. Then she hides a code.
Looks to me like she's wearing the same outfit.
They keep walking. Then she removes her belt.
Oh, hey.
The murderer moves behind her and then attacks her by surprise. The body falls, lifeless, on the sand.
Everything appears to match the crime scene, mon cher Hastings. That is exactly what happened.
I thought it was going to be wrong. But it was right.
Without the ABC, we might have suspected Mr. Asher and Mr. Fraser. But by signing his crimes, the murderer is making sure he's accused. In a way, it is very generous of him.
Generous? The murderer seduced Betty in order to lure her to the beach and kill her.
Indeed, the young woman was certainly careless, but not stupid enough to follow a stranger.
What are you planning to do, Poirot?
Return to London, mon cher Hastings.
Okay, go back to...
He does a good job of like getting all the clues.
Apparently crabs will eat them.
Right, back to London. There is nothing more for us to do here.
I'm coming, Poirot. According to the guide, the next train departs shortly.
Right, back to London. There is nothing more
That
for us to do
one.
here.
Apparently, you'll be able to the order.
Jap has decided to reveal details to the press. The alphabet murder is now famous.
It is not a bad idea. The more people who know, the greater our chances of finding out something of interest.
Poirot, I have a bad feeling.
Chipotle for lunch.
Poor Mr. Poirot, not so good at these little criminal matters as you thought yourself, are you? Rather past your prime, perhaps. Let us see if you can do any better this time. This time, it's an easy one. Churston on the 30th. Do try and do something about it. It's a bit dull having it all my own way, you know. Good hunting. Ever yours, ABC. Good hunting. Did you hear that, Poirot? The murderer seems to be taking it all as a game, a challenge. He will strike on 30th in Churston. We must warn Scotland Yard.
Scotland Yard. Especially that it is the 30th today.
No time to lose. We must prepare our suitcases for Churston.
Mon Dieu, it is already 10 o'clock. I will call Scotland Yard immediately.
Pyramidal mustache. So.
In his haste, Hastings tore the envelope.
Call Scotland Yard.
Hastings' photo album. He is very proud of his bag. Bexillancy, Sussex, population 24,703.
There it is.
Ah, some cool hair. Hello, Jap. We received a new letter from ABC in the 10 o'clock post.
Where and when?
In Churston. Today.
Today? I'll inform the population immediately.
I'll check the train times. Call me back. Poor Mr. Poirot. Not so good at these little criminal matters as you thought yourself, are you? Rather past your prime, perhaps?
Not known at White Horse Court. Try.
So I don't.
It is not a good time.
It's not a good time.
It is not a good time.
Uh-oh. What do you... Whoa. Hastings.
They thoughtfully made it so you can't.
Can't go over there and...
But you can look
Smack
at him,
bottom.
I think.
Hastings, what you are doing is an absolute disaster. That is no way to pack suitcases.
Heavens, we must hurry. We have to get to Churston before the murder.
Hastings' order and method are always necessary, regardless of the circumstances.
Okay. I'll let you pack them.
All the same, it really is a disgrace to leave your belongings in such a mess.
Here's his laudanum.
Unprotected bottles.
Pajamas with the what? Odd socks.
Voila. It only took a minute.
Okay.
Poirot, you were right. I've just consulted the ABC guide. There's no hurry. The next train doesn't leave till 11:45.
You see, there is no need to hurry. We will not be in Churston until tomorrow morning. After the murder.
But why has the murderer warned us so late?
So he's
It's
driving
not
a
what
car.
he usually does. Did he do it on purpose?
Very good question, Hastings. We should also compare the letter we have just received with the other two. Although I have very little doubt about what we will find.
All right, that's going to be the good spot to end the episode. I hope you're having some fun. Sconce.